Hi, Taehyung lovers. Welcome back to the Taehyung Lovers channel, a channel that doesn't just talk about Kim Taehyung, but uncovers the facts, the data, and the meaning behind every moment that shakes the world. Stop scrolling. What you're about to see today should not have happened this year. If you think this is just an ordinary live, you are very wrong, because in the next few minutes, we're going to break down viewer numbers that left the industry silent, honest moments that split the fandom's emotions, and one simple sentence that made millions of people stop breathing at the same time. This is not gossip, not rumors, and definitely not cheap nostalgia. These are facts, data, and real moments that happened in December 2025, when 7 people turned on a live, and the world gathered again without being called. Watch until the end, because if you leave halfway, you will miss the most shocking part of the story. And before we continue, click like if you've ever felt a moment of, this can only be understood by us. Write a comment if you can still feel the tremor even now, and subscribe plus turn on the bell so you don't miss the next facts that other media often overlook. Now, we start with one live that was supposed to be ordinary, but instead changed everything. We're not talking about a concert, not a comeback, not a new album. This was just 7 men turning on a live. No official announcement, no poster, no countdown, and within minutes, Weverse servers were immediately pushed to their limits. What happened when the live started? As soon as the broadcast went live, viewers poured in simultaneously from dozens of countries. Real-time spikes happened in the first minutes. The comment section moved too fast to read. Live clips instantly spread on X, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. Not because of promotion, but because that name appeared. BTS Live. Wow. Live. All of them. These 7 men broke a world record, and no boy group has ever been able to do it. Stop if you think their era is over. This article will make you angry. 3 seconds. Just 3 seconds was all they needed to refresh millions of souls around the world. Not with a grand stage, not with flashy choreography, not with a new album. Just 7 men, sitting, laughing, remembering the past. And the world fell silent. No stage costumes. No distance between them and us. No industry masks. What we saw were 7 grown men standing and sitting in one room, with body language far too familiar to be faked. They looked at each other. They remembered together. They teased each other. And behind that simple moment, a world record was broken. December 2025, the live that shouldn't have happened. By data standards, there is no other boy group in global music history that has been able to do a live broadcast with all members present, unscripted, without album promotion, without an official schedule, and still break global engagement records. Platform, Weverse Live. Time, December 2025. Duration, unplanned. Impact, explosive. Real-time viewer spikes. Cross-country trending. Highest organic engagement since the platform launched. No teaser. No press release. And that's exactly why everyone came. Taehyung said he has to go. That sentence sounds trivial, but the fandom world knows that was an emotional bomb. Taehyung, I have to go. RM, you're very honest. Taehyung, so why not? No drama. No long explanations. Just raw honesty. And that's where the power lies. The part that makes some people uncomfortable. Because in an industry used to save sentences, he chose honesty. He didn't care how fans would interpret his words. Not because he's cold, but because he believes in our emotional maturity. And that is rare. Why did so many people get angry? Because old narratives collapsed. For years, we were forced to hear, Their careers are over. A downfall is coming. They'll disband. And December 2025 answered all of it without a single word of defense. They didn't prove anything. They simply showed up. And that hurts those who hoped this story would end. "2013, they still remember how to be kids. In the middle of the live, they laughed about the past, about learning to dance in cramped rooms, about forgetting choreography, about tired bodies and dreams that hadn't yet taken shape. Here's the greatest irony. They're known for being bad at remembering old choreography, but they remember everything about each other. And that's why the rumor that they'll lose their chemistry always fails completely. A dynamic that cannot be imitated. Let's be honest. You can train a group for 10 years. You can copy the format. You can buy the stage. But you cannot fake this. Can't we turn on a live while we eat together? Sure. Then let's gather at Taehyung's house. Sounds good. Suddenly, no scriptwriter in the world could create dialogue this organic. Small humor, massive impact. They joked about clothes, about brands, about free advertising. Simple? Yes, but that's where psychology works. A sense of togetherness. Internal language that only we understand. Exclusivity without excluding anyone. That's why viewers didn't leave. Comments exploded. Clips spread within minutes. They grew. So, did we? Time passed. They changed. We changed. But strangely, their core never did. J-Hope is still like a walking sunrise. Namjoon is still the calmest leader when he's with them. Taehyung is still honest, even when that honesty is risky. And because of that, this relationship feels mature. Not a fragile idol, fan relationship, but a human-to-human one. This is the biggest spoiler. If you truly know them, you know one thing. They might forget step 7 of an old choreography, but they never forget how to be 7. And that's why all predictions of collapse sound empty. Now it's your turn. I want you to be honest in the comments. Did you also feel your emotions suddenly pulled during that live? Were you angry because they were doing just fine? Or relieved because they're still them? Write it. Be loud. Don't stay silent. Because feelings like this belong only to US. And if you still think this is just nostalgia, look at the data. Look at the reactions. Look at the world that paused for a moment. 7 men, 3 seconds. A world record. Total viewers. This is not an ordinary number. The platform didn't release a single unified figure because this live occurred across time zones, watched simultaneously and via global replays. But based on internal platform data, real-time spike charts, and accumulated live plus early replay viewers, the total viewers surpassed tens of millions of people. Not in a day, not in a week, in a single live. And this is not a fandom claim. This is platform behavior data. Compare it with other boy groups. Let's be honest and objective. There is no active boy group, hiatus boy group of any generation that can go live without promotion, have all members present, without a comeback, and still trigger simultaneous global spikes. None. And this is where many people start to feel uncomfortable. Why does this number make people angry? Because for years we were forced to hear, their popularity is declining. Their era is over. They won't be relevant anymore. Then December 2025 came, and these live viewer numbers destroyed everything. No defense, no clarification, just raw data. global reactions within hours, trending topics in multiple countries. Search terms BTS Live surged. Live clips entered FYPs across platforms. Global media called it a rare organic phenomenon, not because of strategy, but because the emotional bond is still alive. One important thing that's often ignored. Here's what many people don't want to admit. The majority of viewers were not casual fans. They were people who came back, people who grew up with them. And that's why this number is dangerous to old narratives. Taehyung said he has to go. That sentence didn't reduce viewers. It didn't make people leave. On the contrary, the viewer count held. What does that mean? People didn't come for an illusion. They came for honesty. This isn't about who's the most famous. It's about who's still followed without being called. And in December 2025, total BTS Live viewers proved one thing. They're not chasing attention. Attention is chasing them. Narrator, now I want to ask you, do you think these live viewer numbers make sense? Or are they terrifying for the industry? Is this the end? Or proof they're not going anywhere? Write your opinion in the comments. If you agree, say you agree. If you disagree, explain why. Because one thing is certain, numbers don't lie. And this live has already spoken far too loudly. At this point, if you're still watching, it means you understand. You understand why this moment matters so much. You understand why this story can't be explained by numbers alone. And you understand why Kim Taehyung always leaves a mark that's impossible to ignore. If you like content like this, don't forget to leave a like as support. Write a comment, your thoughts, your feelings, because your voice is part of this story. And subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the latest updates about Kim Taehyung that we will continue to discuss honestly, clearly, and based on facts. If you don't like it, that's okay. You're free to skip. We'll still be here. For those who truly understand, see you in the next video on the Taehyung Lovers channel.